Eamonn Holmes receives supports from fans after taking GB News break. GB News presenter Eamonn Holmes visited his hometown in Northern Ireland this week and took time off from his hosting duties. Eamonn Holmes has received plenty of support from his followers after taking a short break to visit his hometown. The GB News presenter took to Instagram on Wednesday to share a snap of himself in Northern Ireland and has received plenty of supportive messages. Showing off his windswept hair, Eamonn added the caption, "Thank you hometown. It was great having you. #Belfast. Many fans gave him plenty of positive compliments, with one person saying, "My granddaughter's partner is from Belfast, they have been together 9 years. He's a wonderful guy, all the family loves him. You're looking very well, looking forward to having you back on GB, it's not the same without you." A second person similarly echoed, "Hey Eamonn, missed you on GB News this week. It's not the same without you and your funny little stories." A third also typed online, "Eamonn, your heart emoji is where the home is, beautiful country. Sick," whilst a fourth person commented, "You look so relaxed being back in your hometown." Eamonn has recently been candidly open about his health struggles as he discussed his 17-year-old rescue dog, Maggie. In an interview with The Times, the GB News presenter lifted the lid on his relationship with his border collie. He admitted that his ex-wife, Ruth Langsford, is the primary carer and has spoken to her about what to do when Maggie dies. In a heartbreaking confession, Eamonn said that he can't take Maggie on walks and that he can't lift her up due to his long-term physical health problems. In 2016, Eamonn had a double hip replacement before having back surgery in September 2022. He also faces persistent mobility challenges that have left him reliant on canes and a wheelchair. Earlier this year, Eamonn suffered a fall on GB News when he unexpectedly fell off his chair live on air. Speaking about Maggie, Eamonn said, "She changed me, changed my life and changed my perception towards people. I am now disabled. I'm in a wheelchair. I've not been able to walk for 2 years, and this has affected my relationship with Maggie for the worse. Obviously the dog is low down in the ground so I can't bend down. I can't lift her up. I can't take her on walks." When quizzed about his reduced relationship with his dog, he replied, "Being Irish and Catholic, I talk a lot about death and have talked to Ruth about what we do when Maggie dies. She says, 'Why do you want to talk about that? Why are you so morbid about things? When she dies, I don't want her to go to the vets and get cremated, I want to put her in a cemetery.'" Eamonn Holmes talks to Belfast Live about his career, controversy, legacy and why he'll always be a Belfast man. He is taking his show, Eamonn Holmes, This Is My Life, on tour across Northern Ireland later this year. With a broadcasting career spanning over 40 years, Eamonn Holmes has some serious stories to tell. The Belfast-born presenter went from hosting a local farming program to one of the biggest names in morning television and is coming home to share his story with local audiences. For the first time, he is bringing his tour, Eamonn Holmes, This Is My Life, to venues across Northern Ireland later this year where he will reflect on his life, from humble beginnings in Belfast to over 4 decades on the screen. Home in his beloved city, Eamonn sat down with Belfast Live to share a sneak peek of what audiences can expect, talking life, legacy, controversy and why home is where his heart will always be. "It's gonna be a show about my life and memories. The reason for my life is I was named after a broadcaster called Eamon Andrews and Eamon Andrews presented This Is Your Life," he explained. "The reason I was named after him was when I was born, I had this massive black hair and my mother thought I looked like Eamon Andrews. She couldn't think of a name and she saw his face on the front cover of a magazine, and she said, 'I'm going to call him Eamon.'" Growing up on the New Lodge Road before moving to Old Park at the age of 9, Eamonn said his experience of living in both a Catholic and a Protestant area of the city shaped his upbringing and understanding of community. He continued, "We had a really lovely close environmental upbringing, which made me really aware of community. London, there's no community. There's community here, I come back here all the time and there's community. People you know, people you have to see, people who will do things for you." His tales from North Belfast and beyond are only some of the things he touches on in his show. When asked why now to go out on the road and share his life, Eamonn said with fewer programs on his schedule, now was the perfect time to reconnect with local audiences. Despite interviewing stars such as David Bowie and a personal hero of his, Dolly Parton, Eamonn said his time at UTV is the best time of my life, and never forgets his roots in regional broadcasting. 6 years there of which I was given responsibility, authority, promoted up the ladder to the top job in Northern Ireland, hosting Good Evening Ulster, Eamonn said. It's fascinating that I've never lost contact with broadcasters here, what to do and be interested. Broadcasting has changed and it's changed for the worse unfortunately, but it's never gonna be the same again. But I had such chances and such opportunities, met so many people. The thing about working at Ulster Television, you just had to do it. You had to shoot it, direct it, produce it, edit it, whatever. So the thing that I realized when I went to England is none of these skills were expected of me, but yet it was ingrained in me. Never afraid to speak his mind, Eamonn broached the topic of controversy he has faced in his career, including a recent interview with Kerry Katona where he apologized after used a racially insensitive term. You will get a job on TV today if you are completely dull and non-controversial, right? You cannot say anything. So I'm in trouble last week for saying the word Oriental, which is banned apparently. Did you know Oriental was a banned word? I didn't know it was a banned word. I thought if I'd have said Chinese, I would have been prosecuted for it or whatever, but no, Oriental. I'm thinking, I didn't say Chinese, so I said Oriental, meaning you could be from Vietnam or Tibet or whatever. Eamonn continued, it really is strange and what they're just doing is they're dulling down. So they get rid of the Piers Morgans, they get rid of the Jeremy Kyles, they get rid of the Eamonn Holmes and the people they leave behind are the ones who they'll never say anything wrong. I would say things that are entertaining, things that are funny, things that are close to the line but never anything that's horrible or offensive, never, never. But the thing is that's the Belfast bit again, you're giving the crack, you're giving the banter, nothing is ever meant as harm, but the British audience in general, the English audience and the London audience in particular, don't get that. He said that he is sad to see that traditional TV news is being lost on younger generations and ratings continue to drop but is confident in the future of infotainment style news like that of his current role on GB News. When asked what he hopes his legacy will be both in life and his career, he joked, I was going up the Antrim Road last night and I was passing a chip shop, Manny's Chip Shop, which I know well. There was this mural of me above Manny's Chip Shop. There were a few other people, there's Frank Carson was there and there were a few other people, and I thought that's not a bad way to be remembered. The man who ate pasties and chips from Manny's. For anyone coming along to his shows across NE in November, Eamonn says he thinks they will be surprised at the stories he has to tell and how he uses photographs to illustrate his life, career and more. I would want my legacy to be, not as a top broadcaster, not as a British man, not as an Irishman or whatever.